Warning, sarcastic commentary, spontaneous references, and random theories ahead. Watch at your own risk. Hello everybody, this is Discombobulate Gamer, and welcome back to Fatal 12, Part 6. Welcome back. If you haven't been watching this series, I highly recommend going back and watching the previous episodes because there's a lot going on in this game. And honestly, I don't really know why you're clicking on Part 6 of a Let's Play series without watching the other episodes, but hey, if you're here, welcome. But we're going to jump into this pretty quickly, but first I want to show you guys something. I was kind of exploring the menu options in between episodes, and I found out we can open our card book. We can look here. And this is really interesting. So you see here, these are the 12 different competitors who are in Divine Selection. The ones who are colored in are the ones that we've seen so far. If I click on one of them, let's say I'm clicking on, this is Rinka, these are the things that she has. These are the cards that she has. Or, let me clarify. These are the cards that we as the player know that she has. So we know that she knows her own name. She knows 3's full name, which is Federico Carminati. She knows 4's cause of death, which is fire. She knows number 9's regret, which is a gold medal. Now, if I click on, for example, Miharu, we know for a fact that she knows, the player knows that she knows Rinka's name. So we know that she has this card. Federico, because we've been playing him, we know that he knows his own name. And we know that he knows 7's name and cause of death. And that is Rochanho and Stroke. We also know that he knows 9's name, which is Odette Malencon. These are things the game has revealed to us so far. This is numeral 6. She has already been eliminated. So we've seen her, but we don't know any of her cards. And then if we click on Odette, we know that she knows Federico's name. We know that she knows 7's name and cause of death. And we know that she knows her own name. This gentleman here is the guy who killed her. And we don't know anything about what he knows. But anyways, it's kind of cool. It's an exciting, I like how that's set up. But let's jump into this. We are still playing as this lovely chap here, Federico Carminati. And we're getting ready to trail Changho, whatever, I forgot his first name. But anyways, let's jump into this. Later that day, Odette gets me to start tailing him. Meaning Changho. Needless to say, this is for the sake of getting information regarding his regret. Divine Selection takes place at 12 p.m. on Sunday, JST, so we'll be in a good spot if we manage to get all 3 pieces of info on him before then. As for why I'm tailing him on my own, well, Odette's down with the hangover. Not in the way you'd imagine, though. She ain't suffering in bed. She's annoyed and screaming at everyone and everything. Can't believe she's making me second-guess her usefulness just one day later. Not long after I start tailing him, I have to rush back to the hotel to get Odette. Rose Company was located in one of those fancy high-class buildings in the middle of Beijing City. I lost sight of him thanks to it being so crowded, but I managed to learn his plans. A few minutes after entering the building, he made his way back out. Acting as someone there on an official business, I asked the front desk about his schedule, to which they replied he was leaving on a business trip. They were hesitant about revealing the destination at first, but I managed to get them to reveal that he'd be staying in Taiwan for 3 days while visiting their local branch. Turns out we can hop on the same flight as him if we quickly get over to the airport. I knock on her door, fully expecting her to flip out on me. Imagine my surprise when she struts out of the room, all ready to go, luggage and all. As an aside, our phones and credit cards were perfectly intact, despite our washing up on shore, so we didn't have any issues buying whatever gear we needed. Okay, that is a costume. Okay. Okay, so it was a test. She drops that bombshell on me like it's a casual greeting. The fact that she doesn't mention what she'd do with me if I failed her little test proves how twisted she is. Why do I gotta be tested in the first place? We leave the hotel after I rush to get my stuff together. I have issues with her design, like her not her design, like I have issues with her outfit Nobody in their right mind is going to be strutting around like that. Especially, okay, they're trying to make her out to be this hardened sea pirate woman. I'm sorry. No woman is going to dress like that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. In my knowledge of dealing with people, practical is important, and she's not wearing anything practical. Like, nothing about that is gonna help her, like, run a sea ship and be a pirate. Like, I don't know. I have issues, game, with your character design there, with your costume design. There are definitely ways. Like, if I get it, you're trying to make her sexy and you're trying to make sure that she's got lots of muscles. I get it. But there are other ways you can show her as having that and make her in a practical outfit that is something that character would wear. I don't think she would wear that. Just me. Sorry, guys. That kind of stuff really bugs me in games. Like, it just does. It's kind of the same thing with the maid cafe. In some ways, I feel like that may have just been there to throw in girls in maid outfits, but it's like, come on. Okay, if it's important to the story, fine. But if it's not important to the story, there's no reason to put it in there other than you're trying to appease a certain part of the people playing your games. And it just doesn't do much for me. I like to play games based on stories. I don't need people in skimpy outfits to make me want to play a game. Sorry. Unless there's some reason for them being in said skimpy outfit. And in this, I don't see a reason for her to be in the skimpy outfit. Anyways, I mean, we'll see. I'm going to keep playing this game, of course. I'm enjoying it for a lot of it. There's a lot of it I'm enjoying. There are just elements of it that I'm not enjoying. There are elements of it that I'm finding frustrating. But I'm going to save my overall analysis of the game till the end. I'm just talking as I go. Having made it on time to catch the same flight as Ro, we make our way to our hotel in Taiwan after landing. It's the same hotel he's staying in, so we choose a room far enough away from his, and then discuss our next move over some wine and cheese. I didn't mean to cut you off, Odette.
あんたは船底の場所で顔が割れてるんだぜ。ローが騒いだりしたらどうするつもりだったんだ。そんなこと警戒すらしてなかったみたいだ。まさか私ら船底の参加者が中国まで追ってきてるとは思ってないみたいだ。
I will say I do adore Odette's hair. I love how it's drawn. I love the design of it. Her hair is awesome.
いや、それ以前に平然と仕事をして暮らしているあたり、あれはもしかしたら船底そのものを信じていない可能性もあるな。まともな大人なら信じないだろ、あんなもん。俺もあんたと一緒に漂着したから信じたってもんだ。
She grins nihilistically before continuing.
自分の死を冷静に認識できてれば、どうして生きているって疑問が浮かぶんだけどな。そうなりゃ、船底とやらの存在を信じざるを得ない。
The human imagination is a pretty powerful thing. I'm just gonna say that.
なことより滞在期間気にならないか。
I grab some squares of cheese as I pose that question to her. Once I confirm that she's reacted to it, I continue.
会社で聞いた時のあいつの出張期間は2泊。だがフロントで聞いたら、お前ローに報告がいかないようにうまくやったんだろうな。鳥もよだ。クレーマーのふりをしてローの部屋がうるさい、部屋を変えてくれってやった。そしたらフロントのやつは明日までだから我慢してくれって答えた。
Clever, Federico.
確かにそいつは妙だな。あいつは明日に台湾支社へ行って明後日には工場の視察に行く予定になっているはずだ。
Yeah, what's he doing? Where's he staying?
このホテルからのアクセスは悪くないはずだが、まあいい。ならお前は 明日も張り込みを頼む。私は別の視点から調べ物をしてみる。
はあ？なんだよそれ。
今日は飯だ。台湾料理はまだ食ってないからな。私は海の幸にはうるさいが、どれ地中海料理との違いを堪能してやろうぜ。
ま、いずれにせよ早まってろうと。
I've actually never had Taiwanese, like Taiwanese food. I bet it would be good. We split the rest of the wine between us and finish off the
地
cheese.
中海はフランスのもんじゃなくイタリアのもんだ。海の幸の比較なら俺の方が適任だわな。
Okay, fine. Fine. The major thing I take away from yesterday's activities is that, surprisingly, Taiwanese food ain't half bad. Yeah, they could work on their presentation a bit, but those steamed shrimp buns were delicious. Could see myself getting hooked on those rice noodles, too. Don't let me forget the spicy stuff either. Adding some dubanjiang and tianmianjiang, I probably butchered those pronunciations, really created a perfect and rich balance between sweet and sour. Oops, that's enough Odette impressions for one day. Even though my stomach regrets eating so much last night, here I am in the hotel's parking lot early in the morning waiting for Ro. Once I see him leave in a taxi, I make sure to follow. And now I have been sitting around outside his company's building for a good part of the day. Boring as heck, but I'm used to waiting by this point. The streets of Taiwan really are an interesting sight, though. You can get a good hour's worth of entertainment from people watching. Too bad, I still got another 7 hours left. After what feels like an eternity, I finally spot him leaving the building. I figure he'll make his way back by taxi, too, but it looks like he'll be hoofing it instead. It's entirely possible that the people at the front desk told me he'd only be staying one night just to get rid of me. But the fact that he's not going straight back by taxi proves nothing. He could be going out for a meal with someone first. That much is normal for a big corporate bigwig like him. As it turns out, he ends up at an Italian restaurant in town. A ristorante, to be accurate. Italian restaurants are split into ristorantes, trattorias, and osterias. Restaurantes are the fanciest of the three. See, okay, I had mentioned it, I think, in one of the previous episodes, that they tend to, give a lot of information. This, and not all of it is pertinent. I don't need to know about the different types of Italian restaurants unless it's going to be pertinent to the story. All you needed to say was Italian restaurant, or even Italian ristorante. I would have assumed that meant restaurant in Italian. I mean, I get it. I get that they're trying to be thorough and they're trying to be immersive, but sometimes there's a thing that's called too many details, and I worry that this game is kind of bordering on that, at least for me. Also, keep in mind, these are my, thoughts. These are my interpretations of the game. These are my criticisms of the game. Doesn't mean that they're all right, and I'm still having fun with this game. If I wasn't having fun with the game, I'd probably stop recording it. The glass paneling makes the restaurant easy to keep an eye on, so I waltz into a cafe directly across the street. It's got glass paneling as well, so there's no danger of losing track of him. I order an espresso and dump plenty of sugar into it. It's going to be a struggle to make this last as long as a ristorante meal, but I gotta deal with it. As far as I can tell, it seems like a real fancy joint. Looks like he's made a reservation, judging by how he gets taken to his seat by one of the staff right away. Soon after, someone takes a seat across from him. A young woman. She's wearing one of those glitzy red dresses that dirty old geezers drool over. I'm pretty sure he's got a family, but it doesn't take much for me to catch on what this is about. She ain't my type, but there's no denying that she's a looker. Doesn't seem like a random hostess either. And now we find why he only has one night at the hotel. Having discovered their relationship, I spend the rest of my time watching them enjoy their meal. Guess he's picked out a wine beforehand. Gotta hand it to him. Red wine like that will send any woman over the moon, assuming they've got good taste. It's just a shame that he's using his bread to wipe up the leftover pasta sauce. You're gonna make that woman feel ashamed to be with you, buddy. The restaurant seems like it's more on the expensive end compared to the others around here, too. Chances are he started going to these types of places more often once he hit a certain age. He has the appropriate manners, but sticking to him and also dropping old habits can prove to be tricky. Not like anyone's going to call him out for it, considering his age and position. 3 hours pass before they finish eating and enjoying their after-dinner espresso. I get myself ready to leave while Ro pays for the whole thing by card. Fortunately, I know exactly what their plan is after this. Probably because I do the same thing. Once they leave and get into a taxi, I jump into another one and follow them. They end up making their way back to the woman's apartment, so after I confirm that they've gone inside, I return to the hotel. I don't know much about Taiwanese dogs, but some breed I've never seen before came out to greet them both when they arrived at her place. Well, it takes time to collect information, Odette. She waves her hand in dismissal. Guess she wasn't able to learn anything interesting, so now she's annoyed. Meanwhile, I'm feeling pretty great because I've gotten my hands on some crucial info. Yep, she is annoyed, alright. I heave a quick sigh before explaining what I saw. Agreed. Oh!
お前だぜ。中年男の恋事情を覗き見してんだからさ。あんた、イラついてるからってそりゃねえぜ。ともかくだ。こいつの未練、愛人で決まりだな。
I disagree. I don't think so. Our last two attempts were regarding his family and work, but neither caused a card to appear. Might have been because we weren't entirely certain, but a part of me felt that we just weren't on the right track. I'm confident about this one, though, which is why I direct my comment to the book, expecting it to churn out a card for me. It's not. All that follows is a brief period of absolute silence, sans the sound of the air conditioning humming away in the background. Okay, sorry, I had to check one thing real quick. For a second there, I thought my audio wasn't recording and I started to freak out. I have no comeback. All I can do is begrudgingly jam a cigarette in my mouth. You and me both, Odette. She flashes me her standard grin in response. Stop whining, Federico. I find myself eyeing Odette after saying that, but nah. I wouldn't go at it with someone like her even if she asked. This is just awkward. I head out to have a smoke after that, a little annoyed at myself for even considering that option. Yeah, if that game goes there, guys, don't know that I'm going to continue it. Not interested in seeing that. We leave Taiwan in the morning and check back into the same hotel as before when we get back to Beijing. I part ways with Odette, who says she has something she wants to look into, and then I start tailing Ro again. Getting anything worthwhile regarding his regrets as he goes about his daily business proves to be a lot more difficult than expected, so I make my way back to the hotel after I confirm that he's returned home. That goddess did mention something to that effect now that I think about it. Like, if two or more people elect the same person, they gotta reveal one piece of their own info to everyone else to gain election priority. Sure, you'll be able to get info from the person you eliminate, but you're putting way too much at risk in exchange. Odette's removing the chance of that happening to us by not telling me. In other words, she doesn't trust me. Can't say that I trust her either, though. Her sudden insult takes me aback, but she isn't actually addressing me. She's looking over to the door I'd entered from. I approached the door, praying that the worst-case scenario in my head wouldn't take place, and then opened it. Hello, Chanho. Ro Chanho, the very man we've been following around, is standing right there. That means he's the one who's been tailing me all along. He continues talking, blatantly ignoring me. I wonder why.
私をこそこそ調べていた首謀者は君だね。
首謀者ときたか。やっぱり私の方が偉そうに見えるってことだね。
そんなことはどうでもいい。
Oh? He's right. The important bit is that he called her by name, meaning he's in possession of her name card. He made that clear in an attempt to bait a response from her. Chances are she realizes that as well, which is why she responded the way she did.
夢の世界。なかなか信じられない話ではあったが、夢の中で出会った人物が同じ飛行機の中にいたら信じないわけにはいかん。
He totally did notice her.
君のように目立つ女性は間違えるはずもないしね。
Yeah, she really does stand out. Not only is she pretty tall, she's also built like a tank. You could say she's got looks, but those don't stand out near as much.
確かに目立つぜ。おい、何ニヤニヤしてんだ。
君こそ笑っている場合ではないのでは。取引だ。私にも家族がいる。こんなところで死ぬわけにはいかないから。
Are all three of them gonna work together?
お前さんは私の死因か未練のどちらかを知っているわけだ。
She takes a deep breath before shaking her head.
両方じゃないな。だったら最初の選定で私を殺して。
話が早くて助かるよ。
待て。こっちはあんたの情報をすべて持ってるんだぞ。立ち聞きしてたんだから分かってるはずだ。
ああ。だから私の取引はこうだ。ミス・オデット、君は私を指名しないと約束してくれ。さもなければこのチンピラに君の情報を教える。
Ooh, interesting. His expression is deathly serious. I have to stop myself from cracking a smile. The room is silent as it can be, but not for the reason he's hoping. At long last, Odette shatters the illusion when she bursts out in laughter. I know, like, that doesn't do her any good. Like, it doesn't do her any good. Oh! She follows that up by punching him square in the face, which sends him flying over to the opposite side of the hall. This dude must weigh over 200 pounds, a true testament to her ridiculous strength. She saunters over to him, takes a seat, and laughs right in his face. He's holding her cheek after that punch, but it looks to me like his nose took more damage, considering it's gushing blood.
笑わせんな。こんなの全然取引になってねえんだよ。
なんだと？今すぐ情報をばらしてもいいんだぞ。そうすれば貴様らは仲間割れに。
やってみろよ。だが、そうしたら私はお前の家族を全員こいつに殺させる。
Ooh.
は？
She punches the floor as her way of telling me to keep my mouth shut.
お前の目論みが成功して仲間割れしたとして、万が一に私が負けてこいつが生き残ったらどうだ。お前の家族が死んだことはなかったことにはならないぞ。家族だけじゃなくお前の未練も信じる。
貴様、 なんて
Oh, his regret. He's got a kid somewhere else. That's his regret.
黙れよクソじじい
She stands up and kicks him straight in the gut. Gotta say, even I think she's overdoing it a bit.
小物が生きがってんじゃねえお前がおとなしく死んどけば何もかもうまくいくんだよ
He's not gonna do that.
取引がしたいってんならてめえも私の情報を集めてからだあ
Oops, I didn't mean to cut you off.
ビジネスマンなら0を1にする交渉じゃなく1を100にする取引をすべきだろ
She grabs him by the collar while she spits out her insults. All he could do in response is close his eyes and turn his head away.
遺言状でも書いてな意味はなくなっちまうけどよ
Yeah, because it reverts back to what happened before. When she finishes, she motions for me to go back into the room with her. There's plenty I want to call her out on, but the last thing I want to do is go against her will right now. It's like I've said before, she's the type of person who tries to ultimately solve everything through violence. Once we're back in the room, she acts like nothing just happened.
さあ飯食いに行くぞ
わかったよ
This woman really is nuts. The Mafia might do some shady stuff now and then, but we still have some attachment to society's norms, considering we dip our hands in regular business to a certain extent. Meanwhile, people like her who live by the rules of the sea lack any such attachments. That realization helps to explain why even a mafioso like myself can be surprised by someone's insanity. Ro has outright vanished by the time we leave the hotel to go get some food. I actually feel pretty bad when I think about how he's probably spending what little time he has left with his family. That being said, the fact that I'm here enjoying some food and booze despite it all proves how messed up I am too. Once we've satisfied our stomachs, Odette hits me with a threatening gaze.
お前こっそりあいつと接触しようとは思うなよ
There would be no good in us doing
死ぬ
that.
よりも恐ろしい目っての私は知ってるからよ
She says this like it's a perfectly acceptable topic to bring up during a meal.
チェ分かってるよ残り2人になるまではこの同盟は続けてやる
なんでお前が上から目線なんだよあ
分かった分かった平等だ殴るなよだからロのところへ行くからな
それはいい面白い冗談だ
She lets out a raucous laugh, but I can tell it's phony. Odette's the kind of person who walks a thin line at all times while making sure that everyone else thinks otherwise. Not that I'm one to talk to when I do the same thing myself. She says she wants to avoid both of us electing Ro, but another reason she's refusing to tell me his regret is because she knows there's a chance he has info on her. The fact that I've only just realized such a simple truth now proves that I'm still in no position to get the advantage over her. Jumping ship to Ro's side would do more worse than good for me too. So basically, I'm best off remaining her ally.
しかしあんぐらいでかいと殴りがいがあるなもう一発殴っておけばよかった
お前あの時楽しんでただろ
わかる命のやり取りをしてるって感じがして最高に気持ちいいんだよ
You know, have you ever, played a really good video game? Or, gone out and gotten, like, the best ice cream ever? Or given somebody you love a hug? I mean, oops, I'm hitting my microphone. I'm so excited, I'm gesturing with my hands. Honestly, those are pretty awesome. I think that that's way better than, quote-unquote, the rush you get when you know someone's life is in your hands, unquote. I mean, just saying, I think that there are plenty of other better things you could do. You'd have to be a real dummy to earn the wrath of someone this insane. Having finished our business, all that's left to do is wait for the second round to start. And that, I think, is a very good place to end this episode. Aw, and just when we were getting back with our girl Rinka, that's sad, because I was like, we spent this whole episode missing out on Rinka, and I missed Rinka. Rinka is a nice alternative to those two. But anyways, that's where we're going to call this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I apologize for all of my rants. I want this game to be good. And that's the frustrating part about this, is I see things about this from a critical point of view that I'm like, it could have been so much better. And I'm still enjoying it. I'm not going to say, like, I mean, I'm still going to play it, and it may still surprise me. Like, really, there's a lot about the story that I'm enjoying. I just have issues with certain things and how they're telling the story so far. And whether certain information and stuff is necessary. You know, I sometimes feel like we've got a little bit of information overload, and then I have issues with some of the costuming choices, just because I feel like it wasn't necessary to the story. But that's just me. But we're going to stop here. I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Make sure you hit the subscribe and hit the little bell if you want to follow along for episode 7, or part 7 technically, of Fatal 12. It should be coming out before too long. Make sure you hit the bell so you'll be notified when it goes live. I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day, night, time, whatever it is for you when this video goes live. And I'll see you guys soon for part 7. Bye!